Hey everyone, it's really never too late to commit to being a lifelong learner, just like it's never really too late to make a New Year's resolution, even though we are kind of deep into January right now. Here's a challenge. Commit to learning more and more as you go as a pro shop operator. Our guest today is here to tell us why. My name is Andrew Pfeffer. I am the creator, producer, and host of Bowling with the Pfeff, and this is Hot Topics. And we are back with Dean Buchanan from the Off-Broadway Bowling Academy outside of Seattle, Washington. You can find them online at theobba.org or direct through email at dean@theobba.org. The building once held horses. Now he's creating a stable of great bowlers who are probably going to mop up on you at some tournament somewhere down the line. But Dean, we're talking about continuing education for pro shop operators. And I've heard from a couple of people now that are very concerned about the lot of ball drillers, pro shop operators, because there are many out there, they say, that just don't take the time to continue learning about new trends in ball drilling, keeping up with current trends in ball drilling, new technology. Some, they say, are more driven by pride and by this is the way we've always done it. How important is continuing education, do you think, for pro shop operators, and to be open-minded about learning new things, changing what they do perhaps to keep customers happy?
Paramount. I mean, that's the most important thing, to be able to swallow pride, as you put it, that kind of stuff, and just sit back and say, I am willing to learn whatever it takes to be the best that I can be at drilling. And that's what I put into it, because I do have a pro shop here, and as well as a training center. I'm very open-minded to always learn new things. And I learned from a lot of the best, including Mo Pinnell, the late great Mo Pinnell, in an advanced course, of course, the IPSIA course that I initially took. And that serves to be a really good baseline, but a lot of times you need to get outside the box and figure out some different ways of doing things for people. Never have I been this is how I've done it and this is how I'm going to do it. If somebody shows up and says, hey, this guy did this for me, great, I'm going to look at it. I want to see, I want to understand, does it help, and how does it change, and what does it do to the bowler on the lane? So I believe, because of the change in technology so much in bowling balls nowadays compared to years ago, there is a gap or a void in a really good pro shop operator that understands how to drill all the equipment and how it affects the bowler on the lane and how they drill it.
Yeah. And the natural follow-up, how do we fix it?
Well, that's the tough question. Absolutely. I really don't even think I have an answer for that. I can just tell you, maybe we can back our way into an answer with that. I can tell you that I do have a lot of people that come here with bowling balls, and they are not fit correctly, and they're not drilled correctly. They might have a good fit, but they're not drilled correctly, meaning, what is the technology and what are they trying to do with that bowling ball? Do they understand the difference between an asymmetrical and a symmetrical ball, and where the pin distances are and what that does to the shape on the lane? And I fixed a lot of that over the years when people come in and say this ball doesn't do anything, and then we change it and lo and behold, it does do something. I think it's just a matter of, we get manufacturers involved because they're closest to the pro shops. I believe, IPSIA can only stretch so far with how you can reach out and touch the pro shops, but you got the manufacturers with these ball reps that are coming around, at least, talking to them on the phone. I would believe it's in the best interest of the manufacturers to want that pro shop to understand how to drill their stuff and kind of push on, hey, you need some education here, let us help you, because I know they know how to drill bowling balls. I would hope they know how to drill bowling balls, the manufacturers. So, we maybe that's one of the answers, but I don't have an answer. It is a big void compared to years ago. I just had this conversation with Del Warren. Years ago, you had a lot of guys that knew how to drill bowling balls and they were really good at it. But look at the advancement of bowling balls and technology. And then you've got people that have learned from somebody who learned from somebody who learned from somebody, and they haven't even attended a formal class of anything, of any updated information or education. So, and you got a lot of kids running pro shops. And the pro shops today aren't really, some of them aren't businesses, so to speak. They are, but they're more hobbies, if you will. The person's in there just having fun with it. Okay, I understand that. I get it. So that doesn't mean, what that means is they don't want to spend a whole bunch of time and money and effort to go out and be the best they can be. They just want to go in there and do that for a few hours a day. Some of them don't know how to run a business, so they don't know how to make the money to get the education or to structure a business plan. Or there's all kinds of challenges out there that I think we can get through and have some answers. But you bring up a great question that I don't think I can answer the whole thing.
Yeah, like you said, all types of pro shops and all types of circumstances. But there's cause and effect here, right? We've covered the cause, but the effect oftentimes is, okay, bad bowling because you can't out bowl a bad fit, but
Right.
also that serious bowlers or even novice bowlers think to themselves, I'm really picky about ball drilling and ball drillers. Why am I so picky when others don't see it that way and just go to anyone who can punch 3 holes or 2 holes in a bowling ball and they're good with it? Is there any recourse for the customer? And I say that hesitantly because the customer doesn't want to step on toes, as there may not be a lot of ball drillers where he or she lives, right?
Right. Yeah, absolutely. There's a couple of different types of those customers. One is when they come here and they're not having any issues with their hand. They don't feel anything, so to speak. They don't have any sores on their hands. Their fingers aren't hurting. Their tendons aren't hurting. And it's good, but it's not drilled correctly. It just isn't hurting their hand. And that's when it's on the ownership of the pro shop operator, if to point that out and say, here's what I would do. I would change some of this stuff, your span, your pitches and things like that. And back to everybody needs to understand and get some education. Then there's the one that comes in with, my hand's been hurting. This guy just, he punched 3 holes and I don't think he knows what to do. And when I take them through my measurement process, I've heard more times than not, wow, I've never had anybody measure this amount of stuff on my hand. Well, I think it's important, don't you? Well, of course it is, and they start to see where you're going with it and what you're trying to do. And then they get the fit, especially back to the ones that don't have any issues with their hands. So they'll have a bowling ball. And if I see it's like way off of what I would probably do as a baseline, I say, why don't you let me do one? Or why don't you let me plug and re-drill one of your bowling balls the way I might do it, the way I would do it, and then have you bowl. And they go out and bowl. Oh, this feels really good. And then about 20 minutes later, grab your other ball now and go throw it. They're like, I can't throw that. So people don't know. And back to how do we fix that? We can. It's a matter of putting some brains together and figuring out how to fix that, because you're right. You can't out bowl a bad fit. And I can't teach a bad fit, a release on a bad fit. It's virtually impossible in some instances.
Yeah. And then you come back to the fact that it's all business, right? The pro shop is a business. Coaching is a business. You get people that are going to think, okay, he's got an ulterior motive because he sees me going to the other guy to drill the bowling balls. He wants my business drilling the bowling balls. But in the end, the goal is not for pro shop operator A to steal the customer from pro shop operator B, right?
Right.
It's better bowling all around.
It is. And I think kind of an answer is coming to my brain, but it's how do we get it out there is I've always thought it's an experience and I've even talked with some of my customers about it, or my students, clients, customers, whoever, whatever they classify themselves as far as in my world here. If they're just coming in to buy a bowling ball, it's an experience. We've had this conversation plenty of times about, there's pro shops out there, especially around here, that a few make you feel like they're doing you a favor, and it's silent, and they just tell you, oh, they don't tell you verbally this directly, but it's kind of like, be quiet, I know what I'm doing, I'm going to give you what you need. When in reality, you should make an experience for them, because they're spending some money, they're spending some time, they really want to learn and understand. So take them through the process. I tell people why I'm measuring this, why I'm doing that, how I look at pitches, why pitches are important. And they start to go, oh my goodness, I've never really understood that before. And they leave going, wow, that's really great. Well, guess who's coming back? They're not going to go to the shop that made them feel like they just spent $250 and got the boot. Hey, hurry up, I got 20 minutes. I'll spend as long as it takes with a customer to have them feel like, okay, I got something out of this. And I'm a better, maybe not a better bowler because we haven't done a lesson, but I'm better as a result of it because I know this equipment a little bit better. And I know why we drilled it like this. And this is what I expect it to do. And if it doesn't, then I tell them, we're going to change it. Well, it's fine, I'll change it. But you need to understand where we're trying to go with it. I'm a why person. You got to understand why we're doing what we're doing.
Yeah. Goes both ways, though. I mean, when you're in the pro shop and the guy's rushing to rush the rush job ahead of the rush job, he's rushing to rush, give him some grace. He's doing the best he can there too. But a great conversation that really isn't going to end anytime soon. But thank you for helping me put it out there, because
it's great to open it up. I mean, you have to open that conversation.
Yeah, it needs to be said. If you'd like to learn more about the Off-Broadway Bowling Academy, you can check them out online, theobba.org, or email Dean directly at dean@theobba.org. For more information on IPSIA, the website is ipsia.com. Find out membership information, the benefits of, and much, much more. And please like this video, subscribe to the channel. It's free and easy, and it is the best way to help us continue to make great bowling content.